Major news alert, PTG. This episode is brought to you by HKR, and they are offering a deal of a lifetime, $20 cases of paint to anyone attending AHSBIZ Las Vegas from our That means regardless of sponsorship, can get level 5 exclusive tournament paint for only $20 per case, and the new formula is fire. HKR is what they can do to make paintball more cost effective for you in Las Vegas. All you got to do is hit up my boy, Chad Yaya Boucher, who is the new sponsorship coordinator for HKR, to reserve your paint today. Email him right now at chad@hkarmy.com. That's chad@hkarmy.com. Let him know you want to sell Las Vegas. Once again, that is chad@hkarmy.com. And do not wait. Reserve your paint right now before it's gone. Let's go. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram @LoneWolfPB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for the tremendous support with the PTG show. If you are enjoying these episodes and want to help with the progress and development of this program and connect with like-minded, hungry paintball players, then head on over to ptgpodcast.com, click the orange Patreon link, and become a member of the PTG World Discord chat room. And now back to the show.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are back with episode number 235, part 2 of the Mark and Mikki Mase podcast. You guys don't want to miss this one. We got Mikki and his brother back on to round out the last episode. We wanted to dive a little deeper into the gambling side of things and how that's really going to work and all the fundamentals of it. This episode was actually even better than the one before. We really got into some great conversations. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Yes, Sirski, PTG Nation. Welcome back. Episode number 235. We got Mikki, we got Mark, we got the Mase Bros. They're back in the house for episode number 2. The show's so nice, they had to do it twice. Let's go, baby. You know what time it is.
And, you've been rehearsing that.
We can't wait to dive into, we got a bunch of more topics to cover. Obviously, Mikki, your story is crazy. You guys are both going to be going pro in paintball. There's just so much to cover on this topic, you know? So how's it going out there, boys? How you living?
It's sick. I just came back from 2 days of back-to-back practice. I'm pretty beat.
Yeah.
But it's good. Making big advances. Yeah,
paintball is ruthless, man, especially 2-day practices. We were talking about it before the show. March was like, your body's just whooped, you know, coming back. And especially if, you know, you got to be in that rhythm of playing a lot of paintball to have that muscle memory dialed in. And if you've taken a couple weeks off even and you play that next time, you're like, oh, man, feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. Yesterday was real cool. It was my team's 2 lines and the Aftermath 2 lines. So it was every single point from 9 a.m. It was just my squad versus Aftermath. And it was sick. Like, obviously, just getting smashed on the first half of the day. And our only goal was, like, survival, you know? And we started to learn, like, play tighter here, watch out for this move. This is their secondary or what have you. And we started picking it up. By the second half of the day, we're winning points. I wouldn't say winning more than losing, nothing like that, but enough where you can watch the progress just in one day.
Yeah. You know, some of the like best advice to lower divisional teams that get an opportunity to play, you know, semi-pro teams or pro teams is just make the points difficult for the other team. That should be the first goal. Go for long points. Go for long points, have good survivability, get to your spots, be alive, communicate with each other. And then you'll start to figure some things out that work throughout the day. You start implementing things and finding, good spots to get to. And, by the end of the day, like you said, if you're doing that and you see the progress, you start winning a few, you start stealing a few points, and that's something to be able to hang your hat on.
It was cool. It was cool finding ways to stop them. They were so strong in certain areas that when we can isolate that player, that spot, or that move, it changed the whole game. We just turned the field on them.
Mm-hmm. And that dynamic of connectivity and communication on and off the field is really what does that. You got to have really progressive conversations and be hyper aware of what's happening in the moment. Otherwise, they're going to keep smacking you down the snake side of Doritos or whatever, whichever way they're winning that. And I know, Mark, you're getting ready for a big practice as well in the Northwest up there. You're actually at the paintball shop right now, right?
I am at the field. I left this morning and I came down here trying to rip down the whole layout we had up and setting the new one up right now. It's raining outside, so I'm a little wet, but we got to get it done. We got 4 teams coming out. We got one from Oregon. We got my team from Oregon driving up to Washington, and then we got 4 Washington teams. We just added a 5th team.
Dude, you got to shout out all the team names. They'll love it.
We got Ology coming.
Yep.
We got BTA.
Yeah.
Let's go. We got BTA Butchers coming out.
Yep.
Let's go, Mr. Map Chim.
Yeah.
Map Chim. We got Pacific Northwest Pressure. First year, they're doing their first year Division 3 this year. Let's go,
pressure.
boys.
Yep.
We got Seattle Cartel, of course, the homies. This is their local field.
Shout out Cartel.
Yeah.
And
dude, they go way back too. The Cartel Squad, that was who Thomas Taylor started with, I think, way back in the day.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Still out here, still crushing it, still running. No matter what happens, the team just refuses to break up, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I haven't been back in paintball for that long, but I've been every single team has approached me, tried to recruit me and what have you. You know what I mean? Ain't no team like Seattle Cartel. Hands down, I don't even care. That's my favorite team of all time. I mean, they're
Let them know.
best guys.
It's incredible dudes. I have some best friends I probably ever had in my life, and incredible dudes. Very, very amazing to have on your side for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a grinder out there. That's going to be fun, and hopefully the weather is a little bit better. We got the layout dropping next week in just a little over a week now for the NXL, and there's going to be snake beams everywhere on this thing.
Too many, way too many. You're trying to figure out the beams, trying to figure out layouts. We don't even know what to do. Where do you put beams? I don't even know, man.
I don't think they're going to be snake beams. I think they're going to be like at ASG. We keep switching it up, all center bunkers just beamed together. I have a feeling it's going to play more like that. It actually made the points really exciting.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Jason does, right? Jason has done a great job at creating fields that are fun to play, dynamic. For the most part, there's been a few that have slowed down because of just one bunker that can shoot all the way across field. But I think these beams are gonna limit that. So, after the first event, I think we're gonna have a good idea of what he's been cooking up in his mind.
Yeah, he's creative. Well, him and Thomas Taylor. Is Thomas involved with that or just the WC?
Just the WC, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and Thomas also makes excellent layouts. He does a fantastic job. I think the WC fields the last couple seasons have been some of the most fun looking fields that I've seen.
Yeah, it's a science, man. It's crazy how
the WC layouts have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
I like at Cup. I like how the snake had that giant 50 brick in it.
Yeah, what'd you like about that?
It was just good because I played Snake every point at Cup. And by the way, Mark will tell you, and so will Ben Challenger and anybody else. I played 100% of the points. I went SOB 100% of those points, and I made it clean 100% of those points.
Damn.
So every single point, I
percentage.
probably was the only player at Cup that got that off, seriously.
Damn.
And my hopper exploded 100% of the points as well.
It was sick. It was freaking awesome.
Bro, there's a clip of me. I'll send it to you guys. There's a clip of me. So every point, I had to get a whole new setup to play the point. So I must have gone through, realistically, Mark, what do you think? 13 setups?
At least. I came off of playing a match and said, this is my setup. 100%. You will be good to go. 1 point. He's like, I can't use it anymore.
Exploded. He handed it to me. He goes, I just came off the semi-pro field. I played the whole tournament. It's locked in. You're good. I'm like, all right, sweet. Grabbed his setup. As soon as the buzzer blew, I came off the box, exploded the hopper into more pieces than I thought it had. And
we need to get you on a diving course, bro.
If there's any companies out there that are looking to make really, really sturdy hoppers, we got the test guy for you.
Okay, yeah. Whoever, I'll do this. I'll put this on the record right now to every single hopper company. If you think your hopper is stronger and better than any other hopper, I will play with it. Video it all you want. I'll play with it event number 1 at Vegas, and we'll find out.
Wait, hold on. The loader was actually breaking or just falling off the gun and paint breaking in the loader?
Buddy, well, I can't. I have videos.
Because now I'm trying to picture what the hell you're doing for that to happen.
He's playing hard. He's playing hard.
It's not like
play
you have much
so
inertia
hard.
behind those dives.
Nah, I play so hard, so fast, and so aggressive. Your guys' equipment can't keep up. Bro, I have the videos. This is what I'm talking about. Like, it was like this. Like, let's say this is the hopper. As soon as I dive, it goes like that. The hopper goes into a million pieces. I'm sitting there. I'm going backwards in the snake, trying to pick up all the pieces of the hopper that exploded on my dive and slide and put it back together.
All right,
And,
we got to work on this. You know what? Actually, I bet I know part of the problem. This doesn't happen to you at practice, does it?
Not really.
Yeah, so many players get used to playing on turf, and then we go to the events and it's grass, and that Florida grass is kind of sticky. You know, it's like a little sandy, and it's a whole different kind of dive and slide. And I notice a lot of the kids coming up right now, super athletic, super fast. You know, and their home field is really nice turf. They're running, sliding around, diving around, and it's easy. And then they get on grass, and that kind of stuff is happening. It's a whole different ball game. Tyler and I, when we grew up playing, it was like on dirt pretty much, you know? So there's like there's a way that you dive and like strength that you put into your arm to kind of keep that from happening, you know? And players that practice a lot on turf and don't have the experience on grass, that kind of stuff happens. I need to see a clip of this. I need to see a clip.
I got the sickest clip. I don't know why it didn't make it into like the mainstream paintball media. It's the sickest. So the buzzer goes, I'm sprinting off box, dive in, hopper explodes into a million pieces, just like every other point. Same video, right? I get tired of trying to put this puzzle piece back together. So I just rip whatever piece was still in my feed. I don't even, it's like this big, the rest, whatever was still in the gun. I just rip it off and I just start pod feeding right onto it. And I'm in the snake and I'm popping the top, ramping with the pod on my feet and just blast homie out of the tower. I have it on video. Mark watched that point.
Wait,
I watched it.
Can we send this?
Yeah.
I'll get it too. You want it right now?
Yeah, I can put it up on the show right now.
We need that
Right
immediately.
now.
Keep in mind, no matter how many times, point after point after point, this is occurring, not a single person, including myself, had the brain or the wherewithal to say, this is how you put your hopper back together. We just said, here's a whole new setup. Let's run it back.
You kept giving him fish. You were just giving him the fish. Here, take the fish. Take the fish. Take the fish.
You guys.
Okay. Hey. Okay. So, hey, word is bond. HK is giving you a brand new HK Sonic loader, and you're going to try that one out. And you can add that to the list of all the other loaders you want to try out. And then, but I can vouch for the Sonic. It does not explode. I think that you'll be good. And then, dude, we're going to see, though, Mickey's a whole different monster out there.
We're gonna find out. But yeah,
Hey.
bro, I made SOB 100% of I played every point. I went SOB every point, made it clean every point. Broke the hopper
yeah.
every point.
All right, yeah, we're sharing.
Young
this real
legend.
quick.
Hey, I want to talk to you guys about
Hold
this.
on one sec, T.
Okay.
I got the
So here's
video.
a clip.
All right,
Here we go.
Oh, it's
It's-
This
side.
guy
It's
runs
sideways,
into the
but we're gonna-
snake. Hopper explodes. Can't get back
It's
together.
not much of a break. The
Watch
lid
it,
is
go
dropped.
Back.
Oh, there's the pod.
Yep.
Pod on the top of the gun. Yo, Mickey, that
Just-
shot is quick.
Pod hunting.
Yeah, you don't see players do that anymore. Is to use the pod and try to load like that.
Oh, they got
It's
him.
so
They
dumb.
got him.
Dude.
Whose clip is that? We got to give him credit. Who's
I don't honestly, if somebody sent it to me while the guy
okay.
editing it sent it to
Okay.
one of my old people and they sent it to me.
all right?
Yeah, shout them out in the comments.
Yeah.
Shout them out so we get some cred their way. That's amazing, dude. And
That's-
that's, hey, sometimes you got to do that. You got to throw the loader in the jersey, throw the
Yeah.
pod on top, and get active.
Yeah. I had
Hell
played
yeah,
with
man.
that pod on there like I don't know for a minute till I got shot, you know?
And then maybe another thing, you got to throw a little tape around that son of a gun or something, you know?
I put one of those, those like rubber bracelet things?
Yeah.
Somebody was tired of seeing me explode hoppers and he goes, try this. And I did that. But I started using a hopper. And what happened is it would split, but it would just stay split in half this way. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't come off, but it would just be like,
yeah. So now I see what you're talking about. Some of those virtue loaders, the clip on the inside wears down, and that happens. And you'll see some of the virtue loaders have to be taped. They fixed it with their new ones, but that was definitely a problem for a couple iterations of their loaders. You just see people dive in, and that thing's just popping open, and like so frustrating to have that be an issue. You know.
I used a hopper. I don't know what brand it is. The seam is down the middle, right? So if you're holding the gun, the hopper shells are in the middle.
That's
when I
old.
landed
A Revolution?
on that,
That's old school, bro.
That thing exploded in both directions.
See ya. See you later.
Yo, that's hilarious. I'm dying. That's
All
so
right.
funny.
At some point, we've got to play paintball together as well. Like Marcelo and myself would love to take you all under our wing and like teach you the ropes of everything that we've learned over. We've been playing pro for 20 plus years, you know, so we picked up all these little tricks and all that kind of stuff. And actually, while I'm at it, this goes out to all the social media influencers, like the YouTubers, the big YouTubers. They need paintball content. They have fun paintball content that they do. We want to work with anybody in the industry and help grow paintball in those regards too, because I think that is like the next chapter for paintball is getting dialed in with more eyeballs. We just need to be in front of more eyeballs, and the game is gonna just catch fire on its own. It doesn't need help.
I mean, I'll say that I'm doing my part on it. At Cup, I think I got 3 or 5 million views on the couple of little paintball videos I made. And that was just because I enjoyed being there, just standard like Instagram branding, you know, like just like my usual posting stuff.
Yeah.
And now that I'm like committed to play this NXL season, there's going to be a lot, like in Vegas, there's going to be a lot of like those cameos I had like the last time I did the pod, like all those types of friends I have will be in Vegas, and they're all coming. Kevin Fillers offered them all like, you know, nice situation, some red carpet, what have you. So I think that this season will have probably more eyes on paintball than ever before.
Yeah, and there's going to be an award show too, which is going to be popping. We got SNC is DJing that award show, and they've worked pretty closely with HK Army as well. And shout out to Waka. We were talking a little bit about Waka, me
That's
and
my
you.
dog.
No,
That's
I love
my
him.
dog.
He's so
Waka,
good, dude.
Waka Flame. That's my
Flame,
boy.
what?
That's
Yep.
my boy.
Yeah, we played some paintball together, and then Borgor, you know who Borgor is, right? He
The DJ?
he's a DJ, yeah, and he was really big dubstep kind of style DJ, and he fell in love with paintball. He was out at our dynasty practices all the time when I was on the team, and it's just like it's one of those games that really bites you, and it bites deep. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that, like your passion for extreme sports and what draws you to be so into extreme sports, because I know, Mick, I know you love motocross. I see you shredding out there. So like this goes hand in hand with extreme sports, and talk to me kind of about that.
Me and Mark both grew up racing motocross, and we were both like exceptionally well, you know, exceptionally great riders, a lot of accolades, a lot of accomplishments. I was like amateur. I was an amateur champion in motocross, and came up with like some of the greatest riders in history. Some of the Hall of Famers were guys I would travel and train with as a kid racing motocross. And same with Mark, by the way. You know, we did everything together. And then me and Mark quit racing dirt bikes. I don't know how old we were, fairly youngish, like young enough-ish where we can do more. We went on to drag racing, dominated in that sport as well. A lot of world records, a lot of national championships. And then then I just kept getting in trouble and, you know, and just going down a bad path. And, you know, that was it. You know, I was just on my own pretty young. And, but paintball was always in the mix. Mark made that his full-time thing. I didn't. And then, you know, like, that's it. Now, for me, everything that I do in paintball is just spend more time with Mark. That's it. And that's why I tell everyone, like, every sponsor that's tried to sponsor me, I'm like, it's cool, but I could buy my own. The guy who really would appreciate it's my brother. So anyone who ever tries to sponsor me in this sport, I will refuse to wear their items or utilize their equipment if my brother's not using it and doesn't have the same deal as me. Same with the podcast, just like this, you know, none of this helps me. Like, I don't need your cloud or anything like that. You know, I'm just doing because I want to help Mark, and this is his passion, and Mark means everything to me. So that's why I'm back in the sport now.
I respect that a lot, man. That's awesome. You know, I've got you're the older brother, right, Mickey?
I am.
Yeah, I have older brothers, but there's a pretty big gap. My older brothers are in their 50s and actually early 60s, but I started paintball when I was real young with them. And, there was that bond. But even more so, I have 2 young brothers that are they're twins, and they're 4 years younger than me. And I kind of feel the same way. Like
Are they close in age?
They're twins, and okay, it's a joke. I'm like, you missed that part. I don't know, man. With how you were telling me you dive into the snake, who the fuck knows? But like, I get it. It's I respect that a lot too. I really do. I see a lot of siblings that they're not close, and they fight with each other more than they get along. I don't know what that's about, but family is so important. At the end of the day, it's like really the people that you should never turn your back on. They're the people that are usually there for you the most. And this generation's a little off base with that. They're a little different, and I hate to see it. So it's refreshing. It's good to see that you stand up for your brother like that. I'm sure it's reciprocated as well.
It is. And we had years ago when we were young, early teenagers, obviously, like you're saying, there's a lot of families who encounter issues like this, right? They separate, they fall apart, they never speak again, things like this. And we saw this happening, and we knew this was a real possibility. We're, early teenagers, and he came to me and we spoke over this, and he goes, listen, no matter what, I don't care what happens, no matter how bad anything gets, at the end of the day, just know, like, we have to come together and agree. Like, we are brothers. We are the only brothers we have. We're the only brothers we will ever have. No matter what happens, like, we have to remain brothers and be there for each other to any degree, and we can never separate, and
respect.
Great. Yeah. And it was probably the most important conversation I probably ever had with anybody, and him being honestly so amazing to me, because I, sometimes I may not be the most amazing person, is no matter what, he accepts me for who I am, because that's kind of,
that's
my
the
brother.
deal, man. Yeah. That's the
deal.
Contract when you're blood, that's the contract. What's the age difference between you guys?
18 months to the day.
Oh, damn.
No,
Okay.
It's 19 months. I'm gonna confirm that.
Look it up.
I don't think so. You're born on. I don't think so.
What are your birthdays?
It's 19 months. So he counts it from my birthday to his, but you have to count it from his birthday to mine, because he was born before me.
This is such a brotherly moment here.
How am I going to go all these decades on this earth convinced that it's 18 months, and then randomly you're just going to throw it out there? No, it's 19.
There's wisdom in this beard, my brother.
Where'd you get this new information from, bro? It's got to be 18.
I mean, we could crunch the numbers,
Whatever it is, we're about a year and a half apart.
About a year and a half. That's cool. That's super close. So you guys, like you said, that makes sense. You guys grew up doing a lot of the same activities too. You're interested in the same stuff. You guys are very similar age. So, there's not a big gap. That's pretty badass, man. Cool. And you guys are the only 2? No other siblings?
Yeah, just us.
Correct.
Nice.
And I resonate with that really heavily right now, because I have my 2 sons, my 8-year-old and my 6-year-old, and they go at it. You know what I mean? And I just this morning I'm talking.
Well, is it 2 years, or is it 19 months, maybe 20?
We'll find out in about 20 years. We'll find out. It's it's somewhere in there. But I was talking with my big dog Theo, and I'm like, yo, this is your guy right here. This Max is your guy. That's your best friend. That's your dog for life. Like, this is the one. I don't care about any of your friends. That's cool. You got friends. But this is the one. He's your guy. We got to have his back always. And just starting to hardwire that at a young age. And he was looking at me like, yeah, Dad, you know what? You're right. That is my guy. That's my dude. And it was cool to just see that click. And that's so special, man. Most people never have a really close relationship like that, or, they don't have a sibling that's close to them. So to be able to cultivate something like that, it's eternal. It lasts forever. And it literally, it's timeless. It's timeless, those kinds of moments. So to see you guys attacking the paintball field together, that shit gets me fired up. You know what I mean? Because I can see the future. I know what's happening. You guys are going for the full gambit. I know you guys want to approach paintball in a major way. It's just who you guys are. So I'm excited to see you guys push the boundaries of paintball. And I know my boy Mikki, I know my boy Mark can do this. I know that if they apply themselves, that they will go pro, and that any team would be lucky to have them on their team because of their mindset, the tenacity that they approach the game with. And it's something that takes a lot of work. But talk to me about your vision for paintball, and how you want to approach the game so that you can take it as far as possible.
It's actually such an interesting question. I never really asked Mark. So Mark is so close to pro. I mean, he's semi-pro. He's crushing in semi-pro. He plays with pros.
Yeah.
Mark, what is your actual trajectory for going pro? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
That's a good question, man. I'm unsure myself here.
Well, you're on
he's
the
at
right
the field
path.
right now. He's at the
Yeah.
I
field
am
right
at
now.
the field right now.
Yeah,
Are you at the field right now on a Monday?
Yo. Yo.
But it's like the only way to go from here is either quit paintball or go pro. I mean, there's
Right.
no that's where you're at. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Are you going pro? Like, what are you doing? Are you going to
So-
tryouts? Are you looking like is Ology looking to get is relegated only when you get kicked off or when you make it up?
That's when you get in there.
No. Relegated is only when you get kicked out of pro.
Yeah.
So what's it called when you win semi-pro, get to pro?
You win the pro spot.
Okay, so is that what you're trying to do with Ology? Is that Ology's objective? They think they're going to win this year and get the pro spot,
Yeah.
or are you going to try out? Or
So of course, the idea and the hope is essentially for everyone probably playing semi-pro. I'd imagine to win the pro spot. It's
yeah, but a lot of them are delusional. It's not going to happen. There's only one team it's going to happen for.
And so that's our idea. Our idea is yes, win the pro spot. We came into last year, entirely new team, not very high expectations, but let's figure stuff out. Find out by the end of the season, is this viable? Can we accommodate probably this goal for 2024? So we ended 2024. High belief that coming into any end of 23 like that, coming into 24, now we're starting. We've all spoken, and we do firmly believe that we have a pretty high likelihood of accomplishing our goal.
I'll tell you what.
What kind of
They're going to be attacking it now. I'll tell you that much. They're going for it. Yeah.
What does your guys' practice schedule look like leading into events?
Well, we all practice pretty much every single weekend, and the vast majority of us practice every Saturday and every Sunday. And I can tell you for myself, because I live in Washington, the rest of the team lives in Oregon. I come out every Saturday and every Sunday, no questions asked, whatever the weather is, whether I'm alone or there's 50 people out here. And I come and I get paint and I do anything I need to do to get it done. So our go ahead.
Yeah, so like I mean more like layout weekend. Do you guys travel to find pro teams or other semi-pro teams, or do you play, like a Division II team? What does that look like?
Last year was a little difficult. Of course, finances are always a thing, and so we're finding it a little difficult to get out of state. So we did a lot of things to the best of our abilities down in Oregon, where everyone was this year, right? So for the first event, we're traveling out of state. We're going somewhere it's warm, where it's definitely probably not going to be raining, and we're planning on practicing a few pro teams, a couple divisional teams, and definitely get it in this way.
Why you sound like you're making it secretive? Is that like a secret thing in the sport, like who you're practicing against, where you're staying, and all that?
It's big. I mean,
it's like a secret. It's supposed to be.
It's not a secret. It's just
some people treat it that way. Some don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a secret so much for us, but it's
We're going to be up north practicing Infamous and Impact. We usually go to Capital Edge Paintball Park. Impact's a really good sparring partner. I personally think it's important. The reason I asked, Mark, is because I think your practice will really show you, like when you look at your season in the rear view, you can go back and look at the practices you had and the types of teams that you played, and it usually will reflect in the results. I am the one that sets up all the dynasty practices, and it's really important to have like two different style of teams, and I don't think people really curate it that way. And obviously, kind of to answer Mickey's question, obviously I have a vested interest in Wrecking Crew, who's a semi-pro team, and our own team, Dynasty, to do well. But I still openly talk about this stuff because this platform that's what this platform is for. That's our goal here. But the way you set up your practices are so important. So you want to find teams that are going to give you different looks so that when you get to the event, you're not surprised by something. If you go and you practice two really slow teams and you get to an event and all of a sudden teams are like taking all these risks and you haven't seen it, you're going to get punched in the face and it's going to be really hard to respond. Or if you go and you play, two really fast teams that are just kind of reckless and have a lot of young attackers, and then you get to the event and you play a really disciplined team. All of a sudden you're losing multiple bodies off the break and you're wondering why, like, you can't make spots, so that was the only reason I asked. I was wondering if you guys have, like, if you're putting thought into that kind of stuff.
So we put, so this season coming into it, we're planning on attacking our practices a little bit differently than we did last season, because now we have, we're all kind of in different positions, and as a team, we understand what the financials need to look like event to event, practice to practice. So we understand these things. And now we also have a firm understanding of what our objective is for 24. We have extremely high expectations, right? We're coming for the pro spot. So our expectations are extremely high. So we understand we need to do a lot of different things, you know.
Mhm.
Like one of the things we really enjoy practicing, for example, is going down to ASG. And first of all, they have an incredible field and they run it very incredibly. And Aftermath is an incredible team to play, and
For
all
sure.
the players are there, very assistive. They all give us, you know, great information off the field, and they give us a lot of different looks as a team at themselves. They're capable of playing different speeds and different ways, and they're willing to work with us in any realm. You know, hey, we want to try this, no problem, let's try that. Same vice versa. We give them anything that they'd like, you know.
Yeah. Most
yeah.
def. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's major. It's major.
Yeah, Aftermath. Any pro team, if you're a semi-pro team, any pro team is a good team to practice. The speed, the skill gap, it's just different. You're going to learn so much faster. You know, it does not matter. If they're in the pro division, they're seeing things that you are not seeing, you know, and they might be getting beat in the pro division, but you know, then they come and practice you and kind of showcase some of those things that they've learned and kind of hand it down that way. That's the only ways. You got to play better teams. You got to play up. And it sounds like you guys are doing that. So
Yeah,
good, man. It's
absolutely.
gonna be a fun year, man. Hopefully, you guys and Wrecking Crew go at it. You know, there's
Yeah.
a lot of competition in semi-pro. I think Leverage is gonna be really good. Newbies are coming for it. You know, Shut Up, We're Trying. They're a good team out of, you know, PB Fit area. It's gonna be competitive.
It's definitely an interesting year.
Did you play Wrecking Crew last year, Mark?
No, I've never played them before. I've never played them. I do know they picked up a couple really good players for this season, and so that'll be a very interesting addition to their squad. You know, we'll see how that goes. I imagine it could only assist, and they were already a really good team to begin with. So I imagine coming to semi-pro with Marcelo on their side and the new players that they picked up, it could only increase their odds of succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but this year is interesting because if you look at the PV leagues, we're maxed out on semi-pro teams right now. There's 30 teams. We're maxed out. You know, 4 years ago there was 10 teams or something like that. You know,
yeah.
My team almost played semi-pro. We were having a discussion, and everybody wanted to go semi-pro, but we ended up not.
And that was
for this season.
Okay. Yes, I mean, like March is saying, you definitely got to at least, if you're going to stay in that division, be practicing teams that are going to like beat you up a little bit. And
I actually, it's so funny, and this was an accident. I only play against pro teams. I've actually never had a practice. I don't think I've ever had a practice against a semi-pro or a D2 team before.
We were talking about this the other day, and he's like, he's like, is this normal? And I'm like, dude, everyone wishes this was normal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's something I you know, shout out to Wayne and Karen
Huge
and
shout out to
ASG
Wayne Woodruff.
and Aftermath.
100%. Huge shout out. I want to give a special segment for him. Huge shout out and thank you to Wayne Woodruff.
Yeah.
No question. I didn't say it last time and I forgot to. Like, what an incredible situation. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Because they're a local pro team that is at the field just about every single weekend. I don't know weekends that they have off. They're there just about every single weekend, and they will allow anyone that's there to play against them. You know, as long as you have a team, sometimes they close it off, but I mean, I see them playing. I mean, maybe they're not playing some of the D45 teams. I don't know, but I always see them playing lower divisional teams, you know, every single time, unless they're doing like some drills and some 3-on-3 situationals, maybe not. But every time I'm there and I see them there, I'll usually go just to go do my own drills on a field that doesn't even have bunkers. And I see they're playing against lower divisional teams. That's rare. You don't see that in the pro division that much. One, you don't see pro teams that are at the field every weekend. That's not much of a thing. You know, a lot of the pro teams, especially in the, you know, maybe the top 10 range, they have players kind of from all over the country. So you're not afforded that luxury. They all live in SoCal. So they're at the field every weekend. And that's why they've done so well. But it's an incredible opportunity. And that's like back when Tyler and myself were coming up, you know, we could go to the field, and if we waited long enough, you know, and we just stood around and watched and asked to get in games, we would be able to get in points with the pros. And, you know, it made a tremendous difference in our career.
You know, one of the reasons I think that is, and another like special shout outs to David Ramirez, because he's so ingrained. And he's like, if you got the balls to step up to me and even just ask me to get in, I'll give you the shot to let me just dunk on, just absolutely annihilate you. And if you still have the balls to come back and ask for a second point, like, then maybe you have what it takes to like come all the way to Aftermath. And and it's just such a cool situation.
Yeah, David's the man. Such a great dude. And like you said, an open heart to the game. Like if you show that tenacity and he sees it in you, he's like, okay, let's see what you got. And then if you get lipped, you get punched in the lip and then come back. He's like, okay, we got one here. We got one that wants it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a live one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man.
And that's also thanks to my brother and Joe Barrett. You know, Joe's Mark's coach. So when Mark knew, so I was like, okay, I'm going to play a little bit. I went up to Seattle and played with Mark at his field, had a blast. And I was like, when can we hang out again? And he's like, every day off I spend playing paintball, so you have to meet me at the field. And that's like the whole thing. I was like, I'm not going to come and not play. I was like, as a joke, he's like, do you want to play World Cup? Because we could hang out for a whole week together. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to hang out. If that means playing Cup, I'll play Cup. Like, it was like as simple as that. And so as practice, somebody threw me on a premier lineup for Dub C. So I played that. That technically was like my first real tournament. Was I just jumped right into premier and played Dub C.
That division is so competitive for Dub C.
Really
competitive.
Super competitive.
Yeah.
And then when I finished that, I was like, that was cool. I got beat up, like even on a one-on-one level, right? Like I wasn't playing sharp because I was like, obviously, like, you know. Yeah. So I was like, let me like really understand what I'm doing wrong, get some practice so I can have even more practice for Cup. I use that as practice, and then I practiced based on that for Cup. And Mark knew that I was putting in all this time or trying to. He put me on with Joe Barrett, and Joe Barrett like opened up even more. Him and Joe put me on to David, and David's the one who brought me to ASG, got me with Wayne and Aftermath, and the rest just worked itself out.
Yeah, man. Paintball is the best, and it's such a tight community. You know, everybody is looking out for each other. And you were just out with Mark Crescent and the HK Army out at a street ball event.
Yeah. And shout out Marky. Do you know how he and I connected?
Tell me, I don't know.
So back in the day when I was playing, like all years, lifetimes ago, HK Army was the coolest thing on the planet. And like that's something that I remembered even after I like quit paintball.
The headbands.
Right? Yeah, bro, with the skull. It was just cool, man. It was like so edgy. Yeah. Anyway, so I quit paintball and I like forgot everything. I forgot all the players except for like Mark La Jolla and like Ali Lang.
Shout out to La Jolla one time. Let's go.
Love that.
That's his favorite player.
Let's go. Damn,
but the one thing I remember is HK Army. So anyway, so I'm shooting this YouTube video with some YouTubers, and we got a helicopter, and we got dirt bikes, and we got paintball guns, and we go up in our helicopter, and our other friends would be on the dirt bike going through the mountains, and we'd be shooting them with paintballs, playing paintball tag to the dirt bike riders. And I didn't even think about it, but my homie who got the paintball guns for the helicopter got HK guns. Mind you, when I played HK, they didn't make guns. They basically just made headbands and like ironed on their brand to like everybody else's pants, basically, you know. And so I didn't even really think about it. The video comes out. I get a DM from like Mark Kresher or whatever, like whatever. Yeah. He goes, "Hey, I own HK. I saw the video on YouTube. If you ever need more stuff, let me know." And that's how we got linked in. And I'm like, and then when I started playing with Mark, I hit Marky back up and I'm like, yeah, bro, I think I'm going to play. And he brought me out for a street ball event. That's how I got locked in with Yaya. And I had me and Yaya like hit it off. Like he had my six the whole day, like all night. We played, Friday Night Lights, and it was so much fun.
That's my dog. That's my dude. Yaya is the man. Play on Houston Heat with him. That's my ace right there for sure. Yeah. Such a good guy. Yeah, man, it's a tight-knit family, man, and we all want to see you guys be successful, and that's why we've got your back to the fullest. So if you ever need anything, we got you, just a message away and take care of you, because it's all of us together growing this sport that we all love, and it's one of, if not the most fun thing you could do. Going out there, getting inside the mask, running around with your friends, playing this game is really, it's like a time warp. The time just stands still out there, It's all just for the love of the game. So let's dive into, obviously, the meat and potatoes. We'll swing back around to the big news that you guys dropped in the last episode with bringing gambling into paintball. And that's monumental news, And how do you think that gambling being attached to paintball is going to help get more exposure and grow this sport?
I think there's two ways. I don't think gambling in itself is going to do much other than it may help legitimize the sport. But I think what it's really going to do is we found a way to get every single pro player and team owner paid, right? And I know that's like a big struggle. It's a big issue with Mark.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that, Mikki, because and I'm sure you know way more about this than I do. I guarantee that. Sure. That to me seems like a conflict of interest, right? If I'm a pro player and I could get paid based on people's losses, doesn't that isn't there an issue there? I could maybe throw games, or I could,
Of course, and destroy the whole sport. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So the MLPB is going to have every pro player before this season starts sign the contract where they're acknowledging that if they're caught gambling directly, indirectly, through an aggregate, an intermediary, or of anything of the sort, they're not only going to be prosecuted criminally and civilly, but they're going to receive a lifetime ban from MLPB and any affiliated companies.
okay, boom. That's the juice right there. Okay, so
Yeah.
pro players can't gamble that on the games then.
Specifically on paintball. But if
Right.
you wanted to utilize Kirgo for all the other sports, because it's a full sports book, or the
Sure.
full casino, which includes blackjack, baccarat, slots, roulette, and all that, you're welcome to gamble on everything except for paintball, because it'll also ruin the sport.
Yeah.
Imagine you have Dynasty going out there because they're going to get a bigger bag betting against themselves and just winning, and now Dynasty's just throwing games. I mean,
100%.
it's terrible.
Yeah, that was my first thought on the last show, right? Was like,
Yeah.
okay, so Blast Camp, we played in the first event. I assume they're gonna have great odds. What if I put 20 grand on Blast Camp to win, and then game on, and all of a sudden I'm shooting Yosh in the back, I'm shooting Ryan in the back, and then I go down, I get a penalty.
More guys out with no air.
Oliver sending more guys out with no air. Hey, no, listen, I'm sick of the GOAT getting destroyed for that. It is your responsibility as a player to always make sure you got the damn air, got the paint. You got to check your own stuff. But like to me, that was my initial thing, right?
Yeah.
Is I'm like, okay, how do we prevent that? Because so far there hasn't been any correspondence from MLPB or anyone, that we're gonna have to sign these contracts. So I'm curious if some pro players are gonna be like, I'm not signing this, and like what's the course of action then? Is the league gonna say, okay, you can't compete in our division? Like,
Yeah, I'm led to believe, per Kevin Fillers, that is going to be the consequence.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if those are the steps we have to take to legitimize a sport, that's what all other sports do. Pro athletes have these contracts and deals.
every
Yeah,
sport in the world.
exactly. 100%. So I fully support that.
Yeah, and I will say,
it's also right. So the thing about legitimizing the sport is that's essentially what we're all asking for. As paintball as a whole, but let's talk specifically about the professional division, right? We all want to legitimize it. People would like to have the ability to get paid. So it all really comes down to like people are willing to do their part. For example, maybe Kirgo, right? And which would, of course, entail the players to do their part. So if everyone does their part, things could obviously come together and things would be legitimized.
Yeah. Logistically, by the way, this is something that's outside the realm of the sport of paintball, but just another part of your answer, by the way. For someone to come out of nowhere and bet 20,000 on PB Fit versus Dynasty.
It'd be like a strike bet or something, right? I forget what it's called.
They're like the Kirgo Sportsbook is the top in the line. It's the same program as Caesar's Sportsbook, right? So there is so many logistical steps, like on the back end software wise, to put preventative measures and protection and look out for things like that. So you would immediately set off the system.
Sure.
And they'd be like, hold on a second. This is such an anomaly bet. And 20,000 would be considered a pretty high bet, right? First, does your particular account even qualify to bet that high? And if not, then you couldn't do it anyway. And if it does qualify to bet that high, they look at a lot of things like your betting history. Do you have a history on betting paintball? Why did you choose this bet? What are we looking at? But then, and not that this again is relevant to paintball, but in the sports betting world, what does happen is sports books want the exact same amount of money on both sides. And they always take a vig down the middle. That's how they stay profitable. If all the money is set to Dynasty and nothing on PB Fit, and Dynasty wins, even if they're paying pennies on the dollar because of the odds, it's still bad for business. So they're always looking for even money. So let's say that there's a deficit on the PB Fit side of 20,000. They will actually willingly and sometimes proactively. It just happened with me and my buddy Sean Perry for Super Bowl. So Sean Perry is a sports sharp, and he's banned from most sports betting. Circa called him and said, hey, we have a deficit in the line on the 49ers. If you wanted to bet the 49ers, we can approve you to bet 1.1 million on the 49ers on this spread. That's exactly the bet that Sean wanted. And that's why they let him place 1.1 million. But if the money was even, they would never have even let him step foot into the casino at all, But they needed it balanced because the sports book takes the vig down the middle, which is where the guaranteed profit is for the casino side. That's actually in real life how sports book works. So if there was a deficit, Dynasty versus PB Fit, they would welcome and sometimes look for someone to put 20K worth of action on PB Fit.
Interesting. Okay, I got it. Yeah, and so to me, thinking about it, if teams are profiting off of losses, there's no real direct way to influence the outcome of the game because it's not like what certain people are betting on. It's like an overall I don't even know how to explain this, but I guess initially my thought was it would be a direct thing. Like if, I know somebody who's going to put money. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't seem like it would be like that.
It would be really hard to get away with it. And the odds of you getting away with it are so slim. And the money realistically that you can bet on paintball as somebody with not a long history of sports betting on Kiergo Sportsbook, like there's so much going on, right?
Sure.
Like this is a full-blown casino. You're talking about it's like trying to beat MGM, right? You probably won't get away with it. And if you did, it's for pennies. And if you get caught, in relatively
not
pennies,
worth
right?
it.
If you get caught, you get the criminal prosecution, right? You go to jail. You have the civil penalties. The civil costs you more than whatever you made. And you have to fight all of this in court. I don't know how much you think you can make setting up pro paintball games, but the amount of money you will spend in litigation is going to be well beyond. Like it's guaranteed. It's not even close. And you get a lifetime ban anyway.
Yeah. Of course. So that's in the short term. Now, what about the long term? If bets do start to, come in and people really are gambling on the game and the sport's kind of blowing up, obviously that's where other sports are. So I know they have procedures in place already.
Yeah,
but I don't know. What I don't know is if in other sports teams are offered a profit share, and so that's where, like, does that open an organization up to, some sort of lawsuit, from somebody that did gamble on say Dynasty and then Dynasty lost, and that person knows that Dynasty gets X amount, based off of losses. You know what I'm saying? Like what sort of
so that would come down to the gambler, and the gambler has to sign an agreement with the casino before they can bet. You can't just walk in and do anything you want. And then it's like people that try to sue casinos all the time. Every massive loser in a casino has attempted to sue the casino.
Sure.
From everything from, I don't believe the line changed. They got me drunk. They've lost 100% of them. Probably 100%. So if there was a rigging set up, it would have to be on a one-on-one level. It would have to be at some point in the quite far future where it would kind of try to go to even be worth attempting to go undisguised. And then they have an agreement with the casino anyway. So there's really no repercussions that can come back on the NXL.
Not the NXL per se, but like the organizations, the teams, well, I guess I don't know how the deal's structured, right? But if it's like, Dynasty again, because that would be a one-to-one level, say somebody bets and we could use whatever number. And obviously nobody's going to sue for $500, but I'm talking about in the future.
Let's say somehow somebody got approved to bet $1 million on a Dynasty game.
And they choose Blast Camp over Dynasty. And then all of a sudden, there's a weird penalty at the end. It looks like the game was, and that Dynasty is going to get, say, 25% of the losses from that match.
Well, okay, it would be even more complicated than that because you can only get the 25% if it's a player that had signed up through one of the Dynasty player codes. And it would be on such a grandiose scale that'd be really hard. And in your example, they're getting sued because Dynasty set up the game, in which case you would then have the criminal and civil penalties. Sure. You'd owe back the money plus way more. At the end of it, like everybody would be made whole anyway, except for Dynasty would get a lifetime ban and be in a lot of trouble.
Got it.
Yeah. So the short of it is just don't rig games. And
of course, absolutely. That is definitely that is not what the route that I'm going. But you would imagine people. Hey,
Mark, make sure that Kiergo keeps a very specific eye on Marcelo Margot. We want to be very, very cautious of his gameplay.
Listen, I play by the book, bro. I play by the book. That's I like to follow the rules. I'm a rule follower. I try not to get penalties. That kind of risk not necessary. But okay. Yeah. Again, I'm just trying to look at what could go wrong, if anything. Because I've never heard of professional teams that are or organizations that people are betting on getting a percentage of losses. Yeah. That I haven't heard of before.
I would say it's fairly, none of this is reinventing the wheel. I think it's just an innovative structure put in. We put all the pieces that already exist together in a way to make paintball profitable for the players, which is the first time this has ever happened. It was really cool. And it all stemmed because the concept was like, how can we get Mark to quit his regular job so he can play full time and make it to the pros, easier. And that's sort of how the idea came.
Amazing. I love that. I mean, it sounds incredible. It really does. You know, again, and Mikki, you neither one of you really know me too well. I just always try to play devil's advocate just to try to get
Bring it
down
out,
to the, that's it. You know, it's not that I'm being combative. I want to understand.
No,
You know?
bro, listen,
Yeah,
I'm not,
totally.
I can care less, by the way,
Yeah.
just so you know, like the only way this affects me is that it's helping my brother. So you can ask me anything you want. I happen to be fairly knowledgeable.
Well, that's what I love, dude. Like every response you have, it doesn't sound like bullshit. So I appreciate that. You know, it doesn't sound like bullshit. It's legit.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You also asked me a question that I didn't touch on yet. You said something about the exposure for the sport, right?
Yes.
So I personally own 1 billion monthly social media views. I know Kyrgo owns many more than I do as a whole, right? With all the other efforts they have. Myself, I have reason to turn on some of my views towards paintball. I am now in paintball. I'm a paintball player, right? So for me, when I'm documenting stuff in my day-to-day and regular life, well, it turns out a lot of my regular life is now paintball. So it only makes sense that a lot of my views now turn into paintball views. So that's really good. And the particular people that view me on the internet usually by other means don't come into paintball or view paintball or even understand that paintball is a real sport, or they usually think woods ball or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that within itself will help a lot. In my house, like you've already seen all the people that said hello on the other one. There's so many like celebrities that stay at my house that I have a paintball gun sitting on my kitchen counter. I got my gear everywhere. They wake up and I'm walking in from coming back from paintball practice, and all of them without fail are like, can I come with you next time? And a lot of times I have to say, well, it's a pro practice. It's not for a first timer, but I can take you another time. So all these celebrities have been trying to organize with me times to come out and play. Matter of fact, me and Harrison Fry did something right after I think you left ASG, Marcelo. I was there with some very large celebrities, and they were filming a segment of a video with me. And I told them, I was like, yo, I got to play I have paintball practice. If you want to film me, you got to come to the field. And they ended up playing with us. And they played the day before with HK in street ball, by the way.
Yeah.
Yo.
And so they're filming all this. The video comes out in like a week or so, and we're expecting hundreds of millions of views on the video as a whole, and a whole segment's to paintball. So we already have celebrities playing. We already have talks about it in my personal life, and we're working on coordinating something big. And moving forward, my billion monthly views are going to be a lot directed at paintball. And like I said, all these friends I have will be at Vegas with me and be around and getting involved. And Kyrgo's going to do the same. Kyrgo has so many celebrities. It's actually ridiculous. I never seen a thing like this. So when these celebrities are doing what they're doing and posting, it's not hard for Kyrgo to say to them, hey, do you mind posting some of the paintball betting odds, things like that? And now people that never knew what paintball was, that you can bet on it, are going, I'm a degenerate gambler. I want to gamble. I could gamble on paintball. Now they're watching paintball because they want to see how their money's being, wagered. And next thing you know, we have a whole new world introduced to paintball because of the relationship to me and the relationship with Mark and social media.
Do you mind me asking what other high profile individuals are involved in Kyrgo?
I think that I don't think I'm the one that's supposed to say it because I'm not. It's not my thing. If it's okay with you, I can either tell you now, and I have to. Mark will ask permission.
Oh, no,
we can use their names.
It's all good, dude.
Yeah,
you don't
we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
No. You don't have to. If there's no green light, it's all good.
Yeah.
But dude, we have players like from the NFL as well who are doing the same thing, like Detroit Lions star David Montgomery, the running back.
I'm pretty sure he's coming to Vegas.
He'll be in Vegas as well. Yeah, and he's fallen in love with paintball. Chris Odom, another NFL player. We had Andrew O'Brien, NHL player. And there's a bunch of people from pro sports and just from the meta of culture that love playing paintball that you would never think love paintball so much. So it's cool to see all of us coming together for the love of this game because, like you said, Mick, it's still in the damn woods, bro. What's going on here? We're still in the woods? We're still in the woods, dude.
Well, dude, we've said for a long time, I think gambling is huge. So at the core of what I believe could get pro players paid, it's more viewership, right? That's ultimately what leads revenue for all sports. So if Go Sports can get more viewership, then eventually, hopefully that trickles down and there's a, payout process with the pro organizations. How do you get that? It's through gambling. It's through betting. It's through fantasy type sports, right?
And
we talked about
with people like me.
For sure. Well, absolutely. You definitely want more eyes on the game, but you get more people to actually care about watching Blast Camp versus Fit. They want to tune in if they have money on it, or if one of those players are on their fantasy team, right? Like during a football season or a basketball season, you know, I love watching basketball, but if I'm watching two teams that I don't really care about any players, or I don't have any of their players on my fantasy team, I don't care to tune in. It's the same game. Why don't I care? Because I have no vested interest. So this gives people a reason to care. It gives them another reason to give a shit. You know, like, hey, I got $100 on Dynasty versus Heat. Like, I'm tuning in. I'm for sure not missing that match. You know, and I also have $50 on, you know, well, not quite semi-pro yet, but eventually when you guys earn the pro spot, which will be in 2 years from now, because Wrecking Crew is going to earn it this year. But, you know, Ology versus Wrecking Crew, you know, like normally people might not care to tune in to watch that game, but if they have a reason to care, now they're watching, they're paying attention, they're clued in. And
I think you also build more diehard fans, right? So like when Tyler, who's representing Heat, posts something to gain a gambler, right? Versus Marcelo, who's with Dynasty. When someone locks in there, they go, that's who I'm riding with right now. Like that's my new chosen favorite. Like people choose 100%. The Cowboys, even though they're trash, but that's who they locked in with some time ago.
People like losing money.
Yeah. You know, so once you get locked in, now you have like true diehard supporters versus somebody that just likes to watch you when you're on.
Absolutely. 100%. Again, it is one of the main things that gives you a reason to care, a reason to tune in and watch the games. If you're setting up parlays, you're watching all the games, you're like paying attention to stats, which means you're going to websites that are involved in paintball, you're checking things out. It improves the overall numbers across the board. You know, fantasy and sports betting are huge for sports. We've said that on the show for a very long time. So it is exciting to you know, see that platform it's here. It's here.
It's live.
Yeah. It's
and
live,
Nick,
dude.
You just got done doing some TV shows too, right? Weren't you you were recently just on a couple of different shows?
Yeah, so I was I did a show, went on Hulu like 3 weeks ago. I was actually trending number 4 on Hulu for the whole week.
Hey.
I don't know where it's at now. I didn't check, but yeah, I was number 4 on Hulu. I'm on National Geographic. I have a show on Discovery Channel that just aired. The one on Discovery is my favorite so far. I just finished filming a movie called When It Rains in LA. It's a thriller.
What are these shows for? What kind of character are you playing? You playing yourself, or is it?
So I played myself for Nat Geo and Hulu and Discovery. For When It Rains in LA, I play a bartender named Seth. It's like the lead. It's not the lead role. I'm not the lead role.
You're the lead bartender in that motherfucker.
I'm definitely the lead bartender. Yeah. But it's because
lead mixer.
Yeah, I don't know what the secondary characters in a movie are called. Like supporting role, kind of, but it's not. I forget the exact term. Whatever. I play a role where I'm a bartender named Seth.
That's dope.
Yeah, we're filming 2 Will Smith movies right now that I'm in.
What?
Yeah, one of them I play like a secondary co-star. I'm not the co-star. I'm like the secondary to the co-star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we lost your audio.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we got you.
What was the last thing you heard?
Will Smith.
I don't know.
Yo, here's the thing. I had no idea you did acting too.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah. So this is what happens.
What is this? What do you mean? Well, I don't. I'm just in like 7 films, but no, I don't act. There's no acting.
This is what happened. So what happened was, I don't know how it started exactly.
Well, you're Mickey,
I do know how it started. I'm sorry.
They just want you in there.
This is how it started. So a movie producer with Will Smith had seen clips of me. And the producer, likes to play poker. So he saw some poker clips of me, and he thought I was a really interesting character. Him and Will are doing a movie. The premise has to do with gambling. Like the core of the movie, it serves a gambler. So he reached out to me through the owner of a poker show I played on and said, hey, can we hire you as a consultant to make sure every gambling scene and what have you is anatomically correct, right? I go, sure, no problem. We start going over the script, and I started changing. Like I was like, hey, bro, like that's not real life. This is actually how it works. And he goes, wow, you really know this. And I go, bro, this role is literally describing my life. You know, this is like my life timeline. And he goes, dang, as like jokingly, he was almost like, yo, this movie was written for you. And I was like, yeah, like I'm a perfect fit to help you make it make sense. And he goes, screw it. You want to just be in it? And I'm like, bro, I cannot act. I've never acted. I can't. Like, yeah, I want to, but like, I can't, you know, I don't know how. And he goes, let's do this. He goes, why don't I stick you in another movie with Will where you'll have a much smaller role that's hard to screw up. So we'll see how you translate on film there. So we know how much work we need to put into you before the big role, where I play the supporting role to the co-star, right? Which will be my biggest role so far. So I'm like, you tell me I get 2 movies for the price of 1. Like, I'm in. You know? And when that happened, I started getting introduced to all these other producers, and I play cards with a lot of very big producers. So I start talking about it, like, yo, I'm gonna be in these 2 movies, whatever. And they said the same thing, like, I didn't know you acted. And I was like, I don't. And they're like, do you think you could be yourself? And I'm like, yeah. And they go, well, we got the perfect role for you in this, and this movie if you just basically be you. And I'm like, bet. And then from there, I was like, this is really, I've never done a headshot. I've never done an audition in my life. And I'm like playing all these major roles in all these major feature films. So then I was like, this is so cool. Let me pursue it. So then I started pursuing it. And now we are creating and producing shows of my own. And that's how it all happened.
Sheesh.
And I'm still not
Yes.
really an actor. I'm just like being me.
Dude, I love that. Do you have the SAG card? You get that thing?
I have to do it soon. I have to, but I haven't. Yeah.
Damn, that's major, man. Congrats. That's profound. And like you said, you're like, I don't act. I'm just here. Who wants it? Let's do this. And,
I'm not
you're
scared,
making it happen. Yeah.
That means you've made it when your role in films is just yourself. That means you've made it. You know, that's pretty dope.
Want to hear a funny story though? When I did When It Rains in LA, that was the first feature film that I filmed to completion so far. So there was constant script changes, and I had one script I was working on. And at midnight the night before, and I have to be on set at 7 a.m. for the beginning of the shoot, they send me a new script. They go, hey, this is the new one. Mind you, nobody really trained me, like, even how to read a script. Like, I'm just like, they're like, this is your character's name. Like, learn the lines, basically. And the script is like hundreds of pages. I'm like,
shit.
I got to go through every single one till I see, like, my character's name and memorize it. The answer is yes, by the way. So I'm doing it. At the end of it, I'm like, honestly, I'm going to just figure it out. Show up to set and have no idea what I'm about to do. And I have the first scene I have is with the main character. And I remember my first few lines, mostly. I was like, I go fill in the blanks. Like, I'll wing it a little. And what I never considered was memorizing the other character's lines to know when my lines start. So we did 10 takes of me cutting this guy off, the main star, because he was being all emotional. He's acting, you know? So he would take these like long, it's a thriller, right? So it's a lot of like suspense and like crying and like whatever. So the guy is a young kid, great actor, and he'll like say half of his lines, pause and like start like fake crying, and then go to say his other lines. But I thought his lines were done.
You thought it was done.
Like, it took so many tries. Then yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you gotta memorize both lines. That is interesting. That, I mean, I guess it obviously makes sense, but I don't think that's something I would consider, you know? Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Yeah. I wonder how much like off the top ad-libbing is going on in acting with even big actors to where
I
they're
think
like
a good amount.
They have a gist of the way it's supposed to go, you know?
Yeah. I think that's kind of how it works. It's like, here's your lines. Learn them so you can learn the tone and then do what you do. They're like, we're hiring you because you're a better actor than I am. I'm just a producer. How can I tell you how to do your job? Here's the tone. Now go act.
Yeah.
Make the people know what you're trying to explain.
Absolutely. Oh man, that's powerful. That's so cool that you're getting to learn that whole industry as well, because there's so much going on. They're actually building a whole huge Hollywood industry out here in Arizona right now. That's a mega big business move for Hollywood and AZ.
Huge. Yeah. Damn. Mikki, let's talk about one of your like most exciting gambling stories. I'd love to hear like one of your favorite, you know, all-time greatest moments in that world.
Do you have one you want me to like talk about, or you just want me to tell you?
I don't. Genuinely curious, you know, your favorite.
Yeah, like your most memorable, craziest gambling moment, or like one of your funniest gambling moments, something like that.
Bro, okay, you want to hear a funny one? This one I love. So I was living in one of the casinos on the Strip, and as I had became the biggest bettor domestically that any of them had. At this particular time, not only was I the biggest, but I was there weren't even people that had in history been equivalent to me at this one particular property. So I was the largest that they've had in their whole casino's history. and I was living there. They actually built me my own room on their top floor because their best room didn't have a couple things I wanted. So they did construction on this building to build me out a room the way I wanted it. And I moved into it. I lived there with my best friend, Ian. Mark knows Ian real well.
Love
And
Ian.
he's a savage. He's the biggest savage degenerate I've ever met, but he looks like the preppiest, dorkiest white kid you've ever seen. He always wears like a sweater wrapped around his neck like a freaking nerd. And
I relate to this guy, bro. Chill with the insults. Jesus.
But it turns out Ian is probably one of the coolest people in the world.
He lost a bet and had to tattoo his dick, so his whole dick is tattooed with flames, but he has no tattoos otherwise. He's a sicko. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh my
Yeah.
It's a sick tattoo. It's a sick.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's Mark's favorite.
Okay. Okay.
So me and him are living in this room that they had specially built just for my comfort and accommodation. And I don't know what point this was, but we go downstairs in the middle of the night, me and him, and we're just on one, right? So what we started doing was we'd walk up behind an active table in it's called the pits. It means like the regular table games, like lower limit blackjack and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We would jump onto the table while the cards were in action. Like all the regular civilians are gambling. We'd stand on the table and scream as loud as we can Harry Potter references. No reason. For no reason. Just because we could, and we were having so much fun. So I don't want to scream into this mic and deafen all our viewers, but it'd be like this. We'd stand on and just scream, 10 points for Hufflepuff! And just get off and keep walking.
And they wouldn't do anything because you guys you're the whales there.
Yeah, bro, they custom built me my own room upstairs. What are they going to tell me?
That's crazy. Yeah. I've never heard of that. That's
Gryffindor.
Yeah, exactly. We just scream Harry Potter references, and it was just a blast. We just had fun. We used to there was a time, so they gave me a Maybach and they gave me a Rolls Royce, the casinos. But I also had unlimited limo rides, So sometimes Ian and I would get stir crazy because in the casino, there's no windows, there's no fresh air, there's all this stuff. So we'd be like, we got to get out of here. So we'd call up one of the butlers and say, get us a limo. And we'd say, we don't want you to ever stop anywhere. So they would take a route that didn't have traffic lights so they can constantly stay in motion because me and Ian never wanted to feel like we were sitting still. So we'd spend 5 hours driving around the entire county, the entire city of Las Vegas, just me and him in a stretch limousine, just screaming at people, yelling out the windows, getting all our energy out, And the driver had a specific route so they would never have to ever stop the limo completely,
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn. Can you share what hotel this is, or is that? Are we? Yeah.
I don't. This is the thing. I'll tell you. The reason I always avoid ever saying a casino's name.
You don't want to promote them if they.
Well, yeah. Well, yes, I don't want to promote them, but also I'm really nervous that a fan will hear that, say to themselves, if Mikki thought that casino was good enough for him to win, then that must mean I can go there and win too. And then a fan will trick themselves to thinking that I'm co-signing that property, they go there and lose money. I don't think anybody should gamble at all. Yeah. So that's why I'm nervous. But the casino was Park MGM. That's what it was. Okay. That was the property. It was Park MGM.
Hey, I saw the Backstreet Boys there a couple years ago.
If you go upstairs and you ask for the 2-bedroom penthouse, just know that room was built for me. That's the one on the top floor.
That's dope. That's really cool. I mean, you got some serious pull. You're playing some serious games there if they're building penthouses for you.
Yeah. Did.
So like you're not even in the salon then. You got to have some private backdoor room.
Yeah. So okay. So yes, I have all the backdoor rooms. What they really have that most people don't know is there's a designated floor in almost every casino where the whole floor is that private salon.
Got it.
And they have a special rule actually. They have to live stream those games to the commission. So it becomes complicated. You're supposed to schedule the times to have a dealer in there, what times the chips could be available, stuff like this, so people don't break in and steal the chip or whatever it is, And those games actually get live streamed directly to the gaming commission. It's very complicated. And because of those reasons, I actually opt to play in the back rooms, which is on the same floor of the salon. So if you go into rooms like Caesars or MGM Grand or Bellagio, there will be what you think is the high limit. You go through a couple of doors in a hallway, and then all of a sudden there's a whole secondary high limit. And those are the rooms because of the complications and politics of the upstairs room, I will choose those back rooms. What started to happen was I started to see the casinos were setting me up right? They were rigging the system and playing dirty and all this. So when they knew that I like to play in one of 3 particular back rooms, let's call it, I started to catch on that they were setting those rooms up specifically for me to lose. So then I would call them and say, hey, can you set up Salon 3? I would like to play these 2 games there. And then never walk in. I would literally walk towards it and immediately hook a left and sit in the public high limit because that table was not set up against me.
Interesting. You mind me asking, like, what would they do? Just kind of like change some of the odds for the table?
Yeah, they would do everything. Bro, the list
Yeah.
goes on and on and on and on of what they used to do to play dirty to try to force me into a loss. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that happen in Atlantic City. We were like, and it's, again, we're talking baby stuff, but there's been a few times where been on a heater and all of a sudden they come over and say, oh, well, no, you actually can't bet that on this hand. I'm like, what do you mean? We've been doing it all night. Now you're like, you're moving the goalposts. This is crazy.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And they have the power to, you know, it's just,
how are you going to stop them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Damn. They're like, all right, Mickey's coming to town. So to get into those rooms, is that, so on the salon level, can anybody say, hey, can we have like a higher limit, or is that invite only?
You know, it's tricky because I came up through the routes, right? Like up through the ranks, I mean. So for me, I started in low limit, then I went to high limit.
Yeah.
Then somebody would invite me into one of these private rooms in the back of the salon. And then from there, somebody would invite me to the room upstairs. So for me, I don't actually know.
Sounds like it's a casino host situation where they have to, you know, they see your play and they're like, you get the invite.
Maybe, like I said, for me, you know, it just happened organically. Listen, the information's out. Info's leaked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's private rooms, there's private floors. Like, just go ask for it. Like, just go up to a pit boss and be like, hey, I want to play in the private room back there. See what they say. What they'll probably say to you is, let me see your player's card. And what they're going to do is check your level of play and say to themselves, are you worth my time?
Yeah, of course.
They have to take a dealer off the floor. So like a guy who's actually dealing currently, they're going to say, we need you to close this table down, close the game. We're going to remove you from this table and put you back there. So the casino is probably calculating, based on this player's history on his player's card, is he worth more money than the 5 or 8 regular players that the dealer's currently dealing? And the second question they're probably going to ask you is, what are you buying in for? Which goes into the same calculation.
For sure. Yeah, average bet and what's your limit?
Exactly.
They're gonna be like, yo, stay. You're at the $50 table, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You want your own dealer.
Yeah,
nice.
I love what you're doing with Shaking Hearts as well. You have that on your IG, and it is something for gambling and drug addiction. And I love how you go to bat for people who are going through dark times in their life. I don't know if you want to speak on that at all, but that's been a big mission of yours, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you even saying that. So about 1.5 years ago, I started a foundation. Not only is it not for profit, it loses money, which is totally fine. Anybody who struggles with gambling addiction, drug addiction, alcoholism, mental health, such as depression or anxiety or eating disorders, can go to the Instagram page at Shaken Hearts, send a DM, and totally for free, no matter what, they will find you the best location near you, the best facility or best method of treatment or help for whatever it is you struggle with. I started that about 1.5 years ago. Oh, speaking of Waka Flocka, he had promoted that. A lot of celebrities had gotten on board with me just to promote it. No one's ever been paid to promote it. No one's ever been paid from it. No one's ever made money. It's simply just to help anybody who struggles.
Yeah. That's incredible, dude. Yeah. A lot of people are suffering out there. It's just part of the fabric these days. It's reality. So to have a platform that you're trying to help people with is huge. That's I appreciate that, and you know, co-sign what Tyler said.
Yeah, and you go to Vegas to like the underground cities and help the homeless, and like you're always going to bat for people who are underprivileged or that just need help, point blank, you know?
Yeah, I do my best. For every trip I take to Vegas, there's an entire city of people that live underground, like literally underneath the city of Las Vegas. And they're called the mole people. Also, sometimes people call them the tunnel people. There's hundreds of miles of tunnels that exist under the whole city of Las Vegas. And there's an entire community, there's a whole civilization of human beings that live in these tunnels under Las Vegas.
Whoa.
And I don't have it on. You know what? Let me get you the address right now.
What?
So what I do is,
I had no idea it was that big.
I had no clue either, man. I spent a lot of time in Vegas.
It's nuts.
Wow.
When I first moved out, because before I moved to Washington, I was living with him for a little while. and our first trip to Las Vegas together, he explained this to me, and I was not exactly familiar with it as well. And then we went there, we got a bunch of stuff, and we went down there and we started saying hey to everybody, talking and everything, and handed food out and stuff. And it's legit, man. Yeah, it's legit.
Whoa.
That's
What a
crazy.
trip, dude. I'm surprised my my Vegas team never exposed me to any of that or spoke of it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, here. Oh, here's the address. All right. So yeah, so I go there the best I can every trip and just bring food and clothes and water and stuff like that and talk to the people. It's an entire civilization. They have an art district. They have their own sewage system, sort of. They have like rules. They have like their own like leader. They have like their own set of laws. And
Damn.
That is wild.
so here's a photo of me. I brought my Maybach there just to prove how safe it is. I don't know if you can tell because I got the privacy screen on.
Yeah, we got a black screen there.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So that's me sitting out front with my Maybach, and that's the address. You can literally go to that address, park there. It's so safe that I literally, you know, like the reason I put that in the image is to show you, like, if I'm gonna leave my Maybach unattended there, like it is that safe. There's never been anything in harm's way. Like nothing. The address is 4083 Dean Martin Drive in Las Vegas, Nevada, 89103. And you can go there. There's a parking lot. You just park there and you'll see, like, at that parking lot, you can look. It's what they call it, like a water runoff, like a ravine, whatever. And in that ravine, you can see tunnels. You'll see them. I mean, the people are there. And you just walk in, you say, hey, like, I have food or I have clothes or whatever. And you say, can somebody explain to me which tunnels I should go down? Because sometimes these are these people's homes. So sometimes they don't want you in their homes, you know? So you go to one of the leaders or what have you and say, like, tell me where to go. Who doesn't want to be bothered? And, you know, whatever it is. And there's a safe way to handle it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just so cool that the way that you open your heart to so many people out there. And obviously you've been through a lot in your life and you understand that a lot of other people are going through a lot in their lives. So that's one thing we always like to advocate for on this show is just having an open heart to help others, man. We're all on this journey, on this ball flying through space together, you know, so we got to make sure that we go to bat for each other. And that's one of the greatest things about paintball. And speaking of that and community, let's dive into a couple questions from the Discord.
Cool.
And then let's see what we got cooking up over here. We got, Did It Hurt? Did It Hurt said, how many females be in your ear trying to trap you and you got to handle them? Did it hurt paintball?
I would say that I probably have a slightly above average sexual life.
I would imagine with, especially in the last few years, man, your name has really just been blowing up. And like we said, culturally, you're resonating on so many levels in so many different areas. So it's, once again, such a cool thing to have you in paintball and loving paintball like we all do. And man, I can't say it enough. Congrats on all the success. And we can't wait to watch you flourish into the future and keep doing your thing, man.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Young Stevie wants to know, Mikki, what's one blackjack rule you won't follow? He personally hates the soft 18.
If I have a soft 18 against the dealers 3 through 6, I double down. But I also play double deck, which is a slight more aggressive version of the blackjacks. So in double deck, if I have soft 18, I will double down a dealer's 3 through 6. If a dealer has a 10, I for sure hit my soft 18. Or a 9, I'm sorry.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, we got Rounder. He says, Mikki, what's the biggest bluff you've ever pulled off, and how much money did you win off of it?
I have to guess because I don't really remember, but I'm sure I probably did it was probably maybe like a $2 million pod, and I bluffed. That was a hard one to answer because it's not like a one-off thing. Like what he might be referring to is there's one particular viral clip on a poker show. I bluffed a dude named Garrett Adelson. I don't know, it was for 160 or $250,000 or something like that. And I had 4-5. I had 5 high and I bluffed him and I won. But when you play private games that aren't on TV, you don't really keep track of that kind of thing. But probably there was I'm sure there's a few $2 million pots that I took my shot at bluffing, won a couple of them.
You've been playing big dog bets out here. You know what I'm saying? These are some crazy, crazy numbers. And I love the way you said it on the previous episode.
Absolutely. Same game.
they're units, and the way
Yeah.
that you process them in the mind is no different than if it was, this amount or that amount. So it's a very interesting way that you've approached this science to this sport that you've been playing and dominating, because it is a sport that you crushed, and now you're moving into another sport, and I already know you're going to crush this one too. Paintball's ready to see you on the pro field, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Snap them.
Yeah, hey, we asked Mark about his goals. Do you have any goals of getting on the pro field, Mikki, or are you just doing this for fun?
My goal is to spend more time with Mark.
Dope.
And when he goes pro, assuming I'm still in the sport, then I have to go pro, because how else are we going to spend time together?
You could fill his pods.
Yeah, I can feel it.
You can fill his pods.
Yeah.
You can make sure he's got working loaders. They're not exploding everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be an expert at that soon.
When the tryouts come out, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah.
Nah, Mikki, we need you out there, bro.
Hell yeah.
I think that I'm not too far from having the capability of playing on the pro field, as a pro. And I imagine that I can only do short commitments right now. Like last year, I only committed to play Cup. That was it. After Cup, me and Mark talked about it, and I decided to commit to this season of NXL. I'm like half in, half out about Dub C. We'll see. But it is local to me, so it kind of makes it easier. It's a lot of time, and I have a lot of other things going on outside of paintball.
Yeah.
But after this season, if I commit to another season, I mean, next season, I guess I have to play semi-pro, probably. Like, that would make sense.
Yeah.
So if I play the year after that, I don't know how I don't play pro, assuming I get picked up.
Well, you just get a coalition. Just get a coalition of your homies together. We'll come out and train you guys, and then you'll be off to the races.
Yeah.
You guys will be stunting.
Game, set, match.
Yeah.
All right, my last question here from the Discord is from Mark Paris. Mikki, how many casinos have you been banned from, and what's the most you've ever taken from one before being cut off?
It's I can't answer how many, only because I don't know. A lot of casinos don't call me and say, hey, you're banned. You know what I mean? Don't come. Some do, but a lot don't. So I only find out, like, happened in Arizona. What's the one in Arizona? It's called Arizona something, I think.
There's Talking Stick out there.
It might have been Talking Stick. There's another one near Talking Stick that I think has the word Arizona in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a video of it on TikTok. They kicked me out the first time I ever walked in their doors. They never called me and was like, you're banned. They waited till I showed up, hoping I just never would. Showed up, sat down. They immediately came and escorted me out. And I posted a video on TikTok.
What do they say? What's their reason? I thought you could only do that if you like suspected them of counting cards or cheating or anything like that. Is that not true?
Every casino handles it different. In the beginning, they all handled it like really, like they didn't even know what was going on. They were just like, this guy's a liability. Like, let's cut the bleeding. But as the conversation became more public, and people know it's because I have sharp action, casinos were pretty forthright with me. They're like, hey, you're a sharp player. We're not going to take your business. You can only say, I understand. I will now leave. There's no other response.
Got it.
But when they start lying and saying weird things like you did this, you did, and I'm like, what do you can argue? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I wasn't even there, But if they're just like, hey, man, you have sharp action. We don't want your business. Like, you just have to say, thank you for the honesty. I understand. I'm out.
Sure. Cool.
But I put this number. I said 95% of the casinos in the world, because based on my history, 95% of them that I've been to, I have been banned from. So that's what I say, but I don't have a real number. And the biggest takings before ever getting banned, I think it was something in the realm. I have to look back at my taxes, but I think it was like $21 million over the course of 2 years, and it came from the Sands.
Jeez, dude. You're on a rip.
Nice.
Oh my God.
That's just.
Bow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. This is my last question. This is from Osborne for this. Mikki, is your mental preparation for gambling and paintball kind of similar?
I would say they differ in the way of confidence. I know where I stand in gambling. I know what I've done, and I know what I'm doing. I know the ins and outs of every single game more than a lot of the staff do. In paintball, I don't, and I know that I don't. I know all three of you here are well more phenomenal players, experienced and knowledgeable. So I don't come out there knowing that I know what I know. I come to paintball saying I know that I don't know what I don't know, and I look to guys like you to help me.
Humbled. Yeah, man.
Love
and
that, man.
and that's why you're gonna be successful at anything you touch or whatever you choose to do, because when you have a mindset like that, that's that golden mindset. You're gonna be hungry, you're gonna be humble, you're gonna be hardworking, you're gonna do the extra work to get where you want to get to, you know. So hey, I cannot thank you, Marcelo. I know I speak for both of us when we say thank you so much for both of you being here and being a part of our community and taking time to talk about all the amazing work that you guys are doing in paintball. So major love to all of you guys and everybody for tuning into the show. Thank you so much. And then if you guys want to do any like shout outs or show some love in any areas.
I just want to say that to anybody in the paintball industry who wants to sponsor me, feel free to hit me up. But just know that me and Mark are a 2-for-1 package. You know, we'll be dripped out in the same gear. If you don't wear it, I don't wear it.
Let's go.
I assume Ology has some total team packages, right? Who are your guys' sponsors?
Yeah, we're sponsored by, we wear JT. So we wear all
no.
JT stuff, packs, pants, stuff like that. That's
There we
pretty
go.
much what we do. GI paint. Yep.
Off to a good start.
Not bad. Shoot the best.
You guys are on the 2-year plan, though.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking because of his boys over at Wrecking Crew.
No, he's on a 1-year plan.
All we need is a 2-year plan, because after our 2 years, we're on a whole bigger plan next year while your boys are still back here.
We gonna see. We gonna see.
Yeah, we
I
got
can't wait.
competition. Hell yeah. And
Awesome, guys.
We'll see y'all in a couple weeks out in the desert out here, and there's going to be an amazing award show. I think there's a poker game happening still as well, quite possibly.
Yeah. So you know what's funny? The guy just called me that owns this poker show. Rainey's putting on a poker game on live TV. It's taking place, I forget the date. It's 2 days before practice for Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's all like the pro players and whatever.
Mhm.
And we're gonna play some poker on TV. Yeah,
That's dope.
help get that demographic looking at paintball. It's going to be a fun game, and we just want to try to capture whatever unique eyes we can to paintball. Rainey had approached me, and I said, sure, you know.
I mean, that's great timing too. You're going to get gamblers watching right before gambling is live in Vegas.
Yeah.
paintball.
Actually, that's correct. But gambling on paintball is live now. We already have like roughly 50% of all the pro players onboarded and making money already. They're already in there. Yeah.
Damn. Crushing it.
Yeah, like half the pro roster's already on. The other half, I think by the end of today, that's Mark's job. But by the end of today, I think the rest of all you guys will be onboarded. I think you guys might be. I think this podcast is onboarded already, right?
I think so.
Yes, I believe that we do have the link that was sent over. So I believe that is correct. Yeah.
Oh, fire.
Yeah. So yeah, we're working hard. Everybody's working hard in preparation for the tournament, and we will see everybody soon. Everyone be safe and keep working hard for the NXL, and we'll see y'all in the desert. Bow.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Awesome, guys. Peace. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link in the corner, and support the show. We greatly appreciate it. We have tiers as low as $1.99 a month. That is nothing, guys, and it'll give you access to the Discord, where you get access to the players chat and get to mingle with the entire PTG community. We have tons of different pros in there. Tyler and myself are very active, and it's an amazing way to support the show. We also have amazing other tiers. If you want to be one of the best, want to be a GOAT, sign up for the GOAT tier. It's the greatest way to support us. And each month we do a private live stream show, one-on-one kind of thing, to where it's just the GOATs, and Tyler and myself will bring in some special guests every now and then, but you get to ask us questions in real time, live on the air, and you get lots of inside juicy news that we don't share on the show. So as always, we will see you guys very soon.